This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Friday, the 25th day of April in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Tonight, the family of 11-year-old Adrianna Younge, who was found dead in the pool of that Tucson hotel, are still seeking justice. And family members are expressing no confidence in the Guyana police force carrying out any impartial and thorough investigation into her death. In a statement late this afternoon from the family's attorney Darren Wade on behalf of the family is calling on the government to invite the Federal Bureau of Investigation or Scotland Yard or the Royal Mounted Branch of Canada to investigate the incident. The family is also asking the government to disclose information regarding the foreign pathologist to be brought in to perform the post-mortem on the young child's body. The family is also asking the Guyana police force to make contact with their attorney. According to the attorney, that request is as a result of the family complaining that the police force has been approaching various family members and they're not comfortable with some of those approaches. The family's attorney has indicated that his office is currently in communication with a North American-based pathologist, and that pathologist is working on the possibility of traveling to Guyana this weekend or early next week to perform the post-mortem. The family members met with President Irfan Ali last evening at Tucson, expressing their own concerns to the president. Meanwhile, outrage over the death of the 11-year-old residents of Region 3 today picketed outside the Lenora police station. During the protest action today, the dead girl's mother, Amitsa Simon, stood at the front of the picket line and cried out for justice. The protesters accused the Guyana police force of attempting to cover up the girl's death and the circumstances surrounding her death. In tears, the grieving mother told reporters that hours after her daughter went missing, the police force refused to act.
Matt is the one that put my child in that pool. He put my child there and it was distracting me all the time. And the commander knew that they had my daughter there and telling me I must go home. They got to go. They got to go.
With the Guyana police force offering no information to the family on the investigation so far, new questions are being raised.
Where is the owner for Double Day?
Hotel.
Right there. Where is the owner? Where is he? Where is the owner?
Questions to the Guyana police force on the issue from the media have also gone unanswered. In a statement last night, the family, through their attorney Darren Wade, said despite the urgency of the situation, the police initially refused to carry out a sweep of the building and compound where the young girl went missing. Young's family said in addition to being misled by the police, they spent several distressing hours pleading for immediate action to no avail. They said they have no confidence in the Guyana police force. More news coming up in just a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. It can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Linden, it's big people time again. Go Mosley Entertainment presents the official Linden Town Week Big People Party. Big Oman Gasha Things. On Wednesday the 30th of April at the Mackenzie Bandstand with one-man bands Super Ray, Errol, and Murphy, plus the one-woman band Queen Diva and DJs Killer Miller, Water Dog, and Bad Boys. The next day is a holiday, so party the night away all night on the 30th of April at the Mackenzie Bandstand. Get your early tickets from Shemaine's Bar in the Mackenzie Market, Professor Cuss and Retrieve, Barnes Taxi, and Dominique's Top-Up Shop on Republic Avenue. The Linden Town Week Big People Party 2020. 2025. Bigger One Gasha Things. Compliments of One Communications, Banks Beer, Guinness, XM Rums, 592 Teas, Fireside Grill, and Sheriff Security. Please drink responsibly.
She said, take it easy, I will do it all. You don't have to.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Keeping up with the kids' growth spurts might mean it's time for a bigger fridge. Don't worry, at Quartz, we've got you. Save up to $50,000 on select fridges. Get a free grill or mixer with select stoves and more. Need to upgrade your home? Get smart TVs from as low as $32,999. Plus, shop today and pay later. And make your first payment in 30 days with Quartz Ready Finance. Whatever you need, we've got you. Only at Quartz, bringing value home. Offer ends April 23, 2025.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
Looking for a new ride? Then check out the all-new Honda HR-V at Marex. When you buy a new vehicle, it's 0 miles, 0 worries. Plus, you get awesome features that will make your ride smooth and comfortable. The HR-V interior design has controls at your fingertip with great space and maneuverability. The all-new Honda HR-V is a beauty. Drive one today. Visit our website or call us on 226-1482 to learn more. Buy your brand new Honda vehicle from Marex, the home of Honda in Guyana.
Golden Tasty Food and Bar presents the wildest, most unforgettable party called Cement Body. Calling all nieces and crew to Four Corner on Friday the 25th of April for its annual construction party. Party like no other with music by DJ Fearless and Saya, DJ Ruti and Curry, and live performances from Super Ray, and Lord of Dog. It's Golden Tasty Food and Bar annual construction party called Cement Body. Enjoy Guinness specials all night. Please drink responsibly.
Girl, just wiggle that cement body.
Welcome back. Opposition leader Aubrey Norton today called for the immediate firing of Police Commissioner Clifton Hicken over the police force's posture after the disappearance and subsequent death of 11-year-old Adrianna Younge, who was found dead in the pool at the Doubleday Hotel at Tushin on Thursday. At a press conference this morning, Mr. Norton said the police force for too long has been acting illegally, but he said more recently there has been a moral decline in the force. Norton said that decline has been caused by the tolerance for corruption. To this end, he believes the police commissioner should be relieved of his duties.
We reiterate our call for the immediate dismissal of the Commissioner of Police and those complicit in this systemic failure to protect our children and all citizens. Additionally, we demand that the owner and all others involved in and complicit in this senseless murder of an innocent child at the Double D Hotel be held fully responsible for their part in this egregious crime and face the justice system.
The opposition leader also said the country should seriously pause to reflect on the state of morality of the police force. He said people are now feeling hopeless and vulnerable by the actions of the police.
This is not the first case that the police force has been complicit in helping to cover crimes. In fact, had it not been for the insistence of the public, the police would have already provided false information that would have resulted in people moving away from the scene, and that would have created the conditions for them to fabricate whatever they fabricated.
The opposition leader said he believes that the Guyana police force has been acting with impunity because of the government's failure to hold the top brass accountable.
PNCRA, PNU passionately believe that accountability is paramount. The time has come for this government to acknowledge its failure to foster an environment where such horrors cannot occur without consequences.
According to the opposition leader, the party is also prepared to lend legal assistance to the family of young Adrianna Younge to debunk any untruths that the police may be preparing as the investigation unfolds. The 11-year-old girl was at the hotel with relatives when she was reported missing. The police were contacted, but the family complained of their reluctance to do a detailed search of the building. The police later issued a statement claiming that the girl was captured on camera leaving the hotel in a red car. That entire report from the police turned out to be fabricated, and the police later walked the statement back. Tonight, the family is calling for an independent international investigation of the young girl's death. Leader of the Alliance for Change, Nigel Hughes, today said the Commissioner of Police, Clifton Hicken, must be removed from office by weekend to avert a major collapse of the Guyana police force. He said as it is right now, the police force is already on the brink of a collapse, as he alluded to the just released U.S. State Department report, which said corruption within law enforcement, bribery, and nepotism have hindered the fight against drug trafficking in the country. Hughes said that in the last 5 years, Guyana has witnessed the continuous erosion of public trust in the police force, and its handling of the Adrianna Younge case, along with other cases, has only made matters worse.
I believe the essential institution of the Guyana police force, which is necessary for any civilized country, is now in a state of collapse. Less than 30% of the citizenry trust the Guyana police force.
Pointing to a statement issued last evening by the family of the 11-year-old, Hughes said due to a lack of confidence in the police force, the grieving family is demanding that an international probe be launched into her death.
We are witnessing live the complete collapse of the single institution responsible for law enforcement. This has not been an event that has occurred overnight. Less than a fortnight ago, we had the tragic killing, again at the hands of the Guyana police force, of 2 citizens of Linden. And this is after very, very strong recommendations coming out of the 2013 report.
He said to avert the complete collapse of the force and to start a process of rebuilding the public's confidence in the police force, the Commissioner of Police must step down. Noting that it is not a threat but a plea, Hughes said Commissioner Hicken ought to go by this weekend. The opposition today picketed the office of the president, amplifying calls for Minister of Home Affairs Robeson Ben and the Commissioner of Police Clifton Hicken to be removed from office over the police force's poor handling of a number of investigations, with the most recent involving 11-year-old Adrianna Younge, who was found dead in that hotel pool at Tushin. Today, outside the office of the President, Opposition Member of Parliament, Amanza Walton-Desir, said the Commissioner of Police and the Region 3 Divisional Commander must go.
I am a mother first and foremost. And I am out here because my heart bleeds. Because like my poster says, Adrianna is our daughter. Because any one of us who have children, it could have been our child. And so I am renewing my call outside of the office of the president for Irfan Ali to require, you understand, to require the regional commander to resign, to call for the commissioner of police to resign.
Describing the administration as cynical and heartless, Walton this year accused the government of playing psychological games with the people of Guyana, as she alluded to images published by the Office of the President showing Adrianna's father smiling as he hugged the president so as to suggest that all was well. Walton this year said the president appears to be doing everything else except addressing issues plaguing the Guyanese society, including the Guyana Police Force.
Because it is a just cause, it is a righteous cause, and Irfan Ali must understand that he has the power to remedy this. We are tired of thoughts and prayers, we're tired of sympathies, etc. It is unsustainable for a head of state to believe that he can run all around the country saying thoughts and prayers instead of fixing a broken system. The system is broken from Parliament come down. It is broken, and unless we the people of Guyana stand up and demand better, the government will always take the eyes to pass us. They will always feel that they could piss on our legs and tell us it's raining.
And Opposition Chief Whip Christopher Jones said Adrianna's death and the shoddy investigations done by the police force into her initial disappearance may be one of the many examples of how the Guyana Police Force has been conducting its work under the current government.
It is always a template that every time the People's Progressive Party Civic is in office, you have heinous incidents of this nature, whether it's shooting, mass killings, and so forth.
And the leader of the Assembly for Liberty and Prosperity, Simona Brooms, was also among those who stood on the picket line today. Ms. Brooms told reporters that in other jurisdictions, both the Minister of Home Affairs and the Commissioner of Police would have long resigned. She said while the police force sought to lay blame on internal processes for its major blunder in the investigations, the instructions always come from above.
They're trying to put people against every police officer, and not all the police officers are bad. A lot of them taking instructions, Travis. And Travis, this is being allowed and encouraged.
That the Commissioner of Police is to be held accountable and the commander of that division, because this thing starts from the head. Hicken's only know for sheer kite and got this function and this outreach to promote himself. He's not a politician. He's not in government. He must understand that he holds a constitutional office where he ought to protect the people of this country. Commissioner Hickens need to understand that.
She said there are a number of names that continue to be added to the list of injustices in Guyana. The government has not budged on the calls by the opposition and other groups for those at the top of the police force to be removed.
Golden Tasty Food and Bar presents the wildest, most unforgettable party called Cement Body. Calling all nieces and crew to Four Corner on Friday the 25th of April for its annual construction party. Party like no other, with music by DJ Fearless and Saya, DJ Ruti and Curry, and live performances from Super Ray, and Lola Dawn. It's Golden Tasty Food and Bar annual construction party called Cement Body. Enjoy kidding specials all night. Please drink responsibly.
Girl, just jiggle that cement body. GCOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by June 30, 2025 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. Where to apply for registration? You are required to visit the GCOM registration office that is responsible for the registration of persons in your area of residence to apply for registration. Office hours, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 12 and 13 to 16 hours 30. Friday, 8 to 12 hours and 13 to 15 hours 30. The offices will be closed on weekends and holidays. You need to apply for a transfer if you now live at another address since you were registered. This registration exercise will end on May 30, 2025. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0277-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Need small appliance for your kitchen? Giftland have it. Need fridge or stove? Giftland have it. Speakers or laptop? Giftland have it. I'm telling you, Giftland have everything. And don't get me started on TVs. 58 inch, 65 inch, 70 inch, 75 inch. All sizes in leading brands. Best thing about it, they give a warranty. Man, Giftland is the place for all your electronics purchases.
Washi. Hi people, washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washing me use wash me clothes and I can say Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks for Washi soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright, have my clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Stabrook Market.
Buster presenting the new 500 milliliter. Wow, Buster flavorful. Make every meal better. Grab a Buster for drink, Buster move. Taste this. 500 ml, that's it. Buster for days, that's cool. Buster 500 milliliter is a brand new choice of me drink with my food. Vibing every munch, that's smooth. Introducing the new Buster 500 milliliter. Grab a bottle with your lunch today.
Purple Arts Productions presents A Treat for My Mother 8, an evening of golden oldies with Bunny Alves, Sean Buller, Charmin Blackman, Ronald Green, Barbara Lee, Sharon Cadogan, Ian Nelson, Antoine Gonzalez, Michelle Gobin, and more dance group and others. Golden jewelry for the best dressed mother in purple on Mother's Day Sunday, May 11 at the National Cultural Center. Tickets $3,000 and $2,500. Directed by Simone Dowding.
2 weeks after he shot and killed 21-year-old Ronaldo Peters at half-mile Wisma and dragged the young man's body and dumped it into an unmarked vehicle, Police Sergeant Philbert Kendall was today charged and remanded to prison for the young man's murder. The charge followed advice from the Director of Public Prosecutions. In court today, the police sergeant was not required to enter a plea to the indictable murder charge. His court appearance was brief. The family of the victim, Ronaldo Peters, was not informed of the suspect being charged nor the court appearance this morning. Police Sergeant Kendall, who was stationed at the Wisma police station in Linden, was captured in plain clothes on the afternoon of the 7th of April, exiting an unmarked private minibus and chasing behind Ronaldo Peters, who was at a corner shop. Within seconds of him chasing behind the youth, a gunshot was heard, and he was seen dragging the injured man out of the yard and dumping his body into the minibus. It was all captured on a nearby CCTV camera. According to reports, the injured youth was driven around in the back of that bus before it eventually went with him to the Wisma police station. At the station, the young man's body was transferred to a police vehicle and taken to the Mackenzie Hospital, where he was officially pronounced dead. The police sergeant was placed under close arrest as the investigations got underway. The police claimed that the youth was wanted for questioning in relation to a sexual assault allegation. The shooting death of Ronaldo Peters led to protests in the Wisma community, and during those protests, which saw tires and other debris being set on fire, another youth, 32-year-old Keon Fudgenet, was shot dead as the police opened fire with live rounds to disperse a protesting crowd. Fudgenet was reportedly heading home at the time. The investigations into his death are still ongoing, as a number of witnesses have provided statements to the investigators. A team from the Regional Security System and the Guyana Police Office of Professional Responsibility have been leading the investigations into the two police killings. Well, Vice President Bharat Jagdeo has declared that he is unbothered by the 2025 U.S. State Department report, which highlighted corruption and money laundering as significant problems that continue to affect Guyana. At a press conference yesterday, Mr. Jagdeo said he believes that many of the issues raised by the U.S. State Department were contained in a previous report. He said despite the issues raised, he believes when the report is closely examined, it is a positive one for Guyana.
So I think it was a positive report. When you learn to read these reports as reports that have a continuous bias, they're systemic and often written by lazy people too sometimes. Because they just cut and paste. You know that well, that happens in Guyana a lot. People cut and paste a lot.
The vice president said while the report extensively deals with the drug trafficking problem in Guyana, there has been an increase of attempts to get large quantities of high-grade marijuana from the U.S. in Guyana. He noted that while there is heavy focus on the negative aspects of the report, persons should also focus on the positives, especially as it relates to the progress that Guyana has made in its fight against drug trafficking and money laundering.
We have made enormous progress in all the fronts on transparency. On the money laundering front, we have strengthened our laws. We have some great assessment from CFATF. We have worked closely with the U.S. as they put in the report themselves that we're working closely together, not just on policy, but in interdiction, and with great success. We have strengthened the anti-corruption framework. In spite of all you hear about corruption,
earlier this week, Attorney General Anil Nandlal rejected the U.S. report. The vice president said there is no need to be worked up over the report, as he does not believe it is an indictment on the country and its systems. Let's tell you now that the president of the Amerindian People's Association, Mario Hastings, slammed the government of Guyana and its respect for the rights of indigenous peoples as he addressed the United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues. He told the forum on Wednesday that the actions of the government of Guyana directly violate the rights of indigenous people to self-determination, particularly over the use of their lands. Adding his voice to the dialogue on the financing of indigenous people's work and participation across the multilateral and regional systems, Mr. Hastings explained that despite having titles to their lands, indigenous people in Guyana are powerless with regards to the use of those lands by the state or even private companies.
In Guyana, indigenous peoples, despite having titles to our lands, have no ownership over the resources from them. Nor are we consulted when these resources want to be exploited by companies or our government.
In an attempt to address the repeated violations, the APA has been lobbying the government to reform the laws and practices governing indigenous peoples. The APA president said despite adopting the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, those laws remain unamended. He said it is no secret that the people's rights to free, prior, and informed consent is still not respected or required in the laws.
Government actions directly violate our collective rights to self-determination on our land. Therefore, stronger incorporation of the UN DRIP would increase the protections of our rights and ensure that they are respected and upheld, rather than overridden by corporate or state interests.
Further, the APA president told the UN Forum that while the Guyanese government speaks glowingly about the benefits deriving from the sale of carbon credits under the Low Carbon Development Strategy, with indigenous communities receiving billions of dollars in funding, an important element is omitted.
The processes arriving to this agreement were deeply flawed. Again, we were not properly consulted in how our forests and lands would be used in this scheme. We were not allowed to consent to this program with the mandate of our people, and we were not part of any negotiations to determine how our peoples could be part of any negotiations to determine how our peoples could have benefited from the national initiative according to our needs prior to the carbon sales agreement.
Hastings also said sacred lands that have been handed down through generations with care and reverence are now being stripped and the rivers poisoned. He added that the environment is being desecrated in the name of extractive industries and profit.
Chair, we are witnessing the reckless seizure of our lands and resources without a seat at the decision-making table. to avoid the devastation that such actions can cause. All this is justified in the name of economic development without our participation while fostering division among our peoples.
The APA also used the forum to call on the government to take tangible steps towards the revision of the 2006 Amerindian Act and incorporate the articles of the UNDRIP into the national laws to ensure the protection of indigenous peoples in the face of growing threats from the old and new extractive industries. The APA urged the government to act on the recommendations made by villages and district councils for amendments to the Act in the national revision process.
A powerful movement is coming to shift Guyana, the Guyana we know as the breadbasket of the Caribbean. It's the land of many waters. It's the land of 6 races, all unified under God. Hope is rising, a call to prayer, a celebration of unity and peace and God's grace on all Guyana. Hope is Rising is returning after many years and will feature global sensation Sherwin Gardner and Emran Henry, along with top Guyanese gospel artists and musicians.
These things, they are making me stronger. I come to you with my hands wide open. If my pillow could speak, it would tell you how I will.
You're invited to Hope is Rising, a global 24-hour prayer culminating with an evening of worship and praise, with Christian leaders standing together on May 9th at the National Cultural Center. All tickets are free and registration is required. Seats are limited, so book now. Christian leaders, gospel artists, churches, and people of Guyana from all regions. We urge you to come together to celebrate and pray to God for this great nation. Hope is rising and God is pleased.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. It can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyoil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
Linden, it's big people time again. Go Mosley Entertainment presents the official Linden Town Week Big People Party. Big Oman Gasha Things. On Wednesday, the 30th of April, at the Mackenzie Bandstand, with one-man bands Super Ray, Errol, and Murphy, plus the one-woman band Queen Diva, and DJs Killer Miller, Water Dog, and Bad Boys. The next day is a holiday, so party the night away all night on the 30th of April at the Mackenzie Bandstand. Get your early tickets from Shemaine's Bar in the Mackenzie Market, Professor Cuts and Retrieve, Barnes Taxi, and Dominique's Top-Up Shop on Republic Avenue. The Linden Town Week Big People Party 2025. Big one, gusha things. Compliments of One Communications, Banks Beer, Guinness, XM Rums, 592 Teas, Fireside Grill, and Sheriff Security. Please drink responsibly.
She said, take it easy, I will do
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. A new World Bank report is urging Latin American and the Caribbean countries to rethink their economic strategies amid global uncertainties, according to CMC. According to the advanced chapter of the Washington-based financial institutions Latin America and the Caribbean Economic Review, amid growing global economic volatility, LAC countries must adapt their economic strategies to navigate increasing uncertainties. The report forecasts growth of 2.1% in 2025 and 2.4% in 2026, making it the slowest growing region worldwide. The report adds that low investment, high debt, and a shifting external environment are major barriers to the region's development. Vice President for Latin America and the Caribbean at the World Bank said the global economic landscape has changed dramatically, marked by higher levels of uncertainty. Despite some progress in controlling inflation, the World Bank said fiscal deficits remain a pressing concern, with the debt-to-GDP ratio expected to reach 63.3% in 2024, up from 59.4% in 2029. The Pan American Health Organization said it is seeking collaboration with neighboring countries to fight vaccine hesitancy for yellow fever and measles among populations in parts of the region this year. In a report, Reuters said the organization's director, Jarbas Barbosa, made the announcement the same day U.S. researchers warned the country is at a critical juncture in measles return, a quarter century after it was declared eliminated there due to several outbreaks. Measles is one of the most contagious illnesses in the world, Barbosa said. Countries have faced difficulties maintaining the recommended 95% MMR vaccine coverage, leaving them exposed to imported cases, he added. Health experts say 95% of the population must be inoculated to provide community protection for those unable to receive the vaccine, such as babies under 6 months old. PAHO has identified localized measles outbreaks in 6 countries in the region, with 2,313 reported cases so far this year, a considerable increase from the 215 cases for the same period last year. 3 deaths have been confirmed and 1 more is under investigation. Since the start of 2025, the U.S. has registered a dozen outbreaks and at least 800 measles cases, including 624 infections and 2 deaths in Texas, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Yellow fever cases have also risen this year on the continent, with 189 cases in 4 countries and 74 deaths, according to PAHO. And finally tonight, international news. China has exempted some U.S. imports from its 125% tariffs and is asking firms to identify critical goods they need levy-free, according to businesses that have been notified, in the clearest sign yet of Beijing's concerns about the trade war's fallout. The dispensation, which follows de-escalatory statements from Washington, signals that the world's 2 largest economies were prepared to rein in their conflict which had frozen much of the trade between them, raising fears of a global recession. Beijing's exemptions, which business groups hope would extend to dozens of industries, pushed the US dollar up slightly and lifted equity markets in Hong Kong and Japan. US President Donald Trump told Time magazine in an interview that US-China talks were taking place on tariffs and that Chinese President Xi Jinping had called him, but Beijing so far disputed the US characterization of the talk. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a safe and enjoyable weekend.